Have you ever stopped to think about what's really going on in your head when you decide to buy something? It feels like gut instinct, right? But behind every single choice, whether it's your morning coffee or a new phone, there's this hidden logic. Well, today we're going to pull back that curtain and show you the economic blueprint that drives pretty much everything you decide to buy.
So, let's just jump right in with something we can all relate to. You walk by a store, you see a sign that says 50% off, and you feel this almost magnetic pull. What is that? Why does a simple price change have such a powerful effect on us?
The easy answer is just, well, duh, it's cheaper. But the real answer goes so much deeper. There's actually a super elegant economic model that explains that feeling, not as some random impulse, but as a completely rational, predictable calculation. And we're going to build that exact model together, step by step.
Okay, first things first. Before we can even begin to understand the choices you make, we have to figure out a way to model what you actually want. This is where it all starts for economists. They literally create a map of your personal desires. And that brings us to this big idea, utility theory. Now, don't let the name intimidate you. All utility means is, well, a happiness score. That's it. Every possible combination of things you could buy, what economists call a bundle, gets a score. The higher the score, the happier you are. Simple as that. So, to make this whole model work, economists assume three basic things about how we think. First, completeness. It just means that if I show you two things, you can always decide if you like A more, B more, or if you don't care. Second, transitivity. This is just about being consistent, right? If you prefer tacos over pizza and pizza over burgers, it just means you have to prefer tacos over burgers. And third, non-satiation, which is the easiest one. It just means that all other things being equal, more is always better.
Okay, once we have those rules, we can actually start drawing that map of your desires. It's called an indifference curve. And a great way to think about it is like a contour line on a hiking map. But instead of showing you lines of equal elevation, it shows you lines of equal happiness. This shows the trade-off perfectly. Let's say you're just as happy having 3 slices of pizza and 1 soda as you would be having 2 slices of pizza and 2 sodas. Both of those combos give you the exact same level of satisfaction, so they sit on the same indifference curve. You are literally indifferent between those two choices.
Now, the slope of that curve, how steep it is at any point, is super important. It has a special name, the marginal rate of substitution, or MRS. And what that really is a number that captures your personal willingness to trade. It answers the question, how many sodas are you willing to give up to get just 1 more slice of pizza? That's your MRS.
So, we have this beautiful map of what we want, which is great. But of course, we can't have everything. We all live with a reality check, our budget. So the next logical step is to map out what we can actually afford.
And to make this real, let's just put a number on it. Let's say you have a weekly snack budget of $20. Not a billion, not infinity, just a crisp $20 bill. This one number defines your entire universe of what's possible.
All right, so what can that $20 get you? Well, if coffee is $4 and tacos are $2, here are some of your options. You could blow it all on 5 coffees, or go all in on 10 tacos. Or, of course, you can mix and match somewhere in between. These are the choices you actually face.
And if you were to plot every single one of those possible combinations on a graph, you'd get a perfectly straight line. Now, this line isn't a suggestion. It's a hard boundary. It's your budget constraint. You can afford anything on the line or inside it, but absolutely nothing beyond it.
Okay, this is it. This is where everything comes together. We have the map of what you want, your indifference curves, and we have the map of what you can afford, your budget line. So, how do you make the absolute best choice? This is the aha moment. And really, it's as simple and intuitive as this. The best, most rational choice you can make, the one that gives you the most happiness possible for your money, is at that one single point where your desires perfectly line up with your financial reality. And this picture shows it perfectly. Your best possible choice is at the point where the highest happiness curve you can reach just barely kisses your budget line. At that one point of tangency, what you're willing to trade, your MRS, is exactly equal to what the market forces you to trade, the price ratio. It's like perfect equilibrium right in your shopping cart.
So, now we know how you make a single, optimal choice. Awesome. But what about that 50% off sale? How do we get from one choice to the famous downward-sloping demand curve that we see in every econ textbook? Well, we actually have all the pieces we need to solve the mystery right now.
The process is actually surprisingly simple. We're just going to start with a price and find your best choice. Then we'll change the price and find your new best choice. And then we just connect the dots. That's it.
So let's do it. Step 1. Imagine the price of tacos gets slashed in half, from $2 down to just $1. Now your $20 budget is still $20, but your purchasing power just got a huge boost. This makes your budget line swing outwards, opening up a whole new world of things you can now afford.
So, faced with these new, cheaper tacos, what do? You re-optimize. You find the new sweet spot. And because tacos are such a great deal now, that new sweet spot is on a much higher happiness curve. And let's say your new perfect bundle has you buying 12 tacos instead of the 6 you bought before. Okay, now for the magic trick. We're just going to record what happened. On a totally new graph, let's plot those two results. Our first point was when the price was $2, you chose to buy 6 tacos. Our second point was when the price dropped to $1 and you decided to buy 12 tacos. Now, you connect those dots, and there it is. Voila! You have just built a consumer's demand curve from scratch. See? It's not some abstract, magical line. It's simply a picture of your rational, happiness-maximizing choices at every different price. That irresistible feeling of a sale? It's just you rationally moving to a new, better spot on your happiness map.
But just when you think you've got it all figured out, economics always has some fascinating exceptions. The law of demand seems pretty solid, right? Well, there are a few very rare, very strange cases where the logic seems to work in reverse.
And here are the two most famous rule breakers. First, you've got Giffen goods. These are things that are so essential to a budget that if their price goes up, people have to cut back on everything else and actually buy more of it just to survive. Think potatoes during a famine. Then you have the complete opposite, Veblen goods. These are pure luxury items where the high price is the whole point. People want a supercar because it's absurdly expensive. The price tag itself is what signals status.
So, there you have it. We've uncovered this elegant, hidden logic that connects your personal tastes to a predictable demand curve. It's an incredibly powerful way to think about behavior. And that just leaves me with one last question for you to chew on. Now that you can see the blueprint, which of your own purchases do you think are perfectly rational, and which ones maybe aren't?